Alright, what's up guys, this is Anime Insight here, with another video for you guys. This one's basically going to be talking about the top 5 anime of the summer that I personally would recommend to anybody, and I have watched progress like during this month and the last month, basically during the summer period. But here we go, let's just go right into it. So number 5 is going to be Katsugeki, Touken, Ranbu. Well, basically, from what the synopsis is telling me here, is that the year is 1863, coming to the end of the samurai era in Japan. And it's basically split between the pro-shogunate and the anti-shogunate factions. And the fate of the world is threatened as an army of historical revisionists are sent from the future to alter the course of history in order to bring these forces down and protect the real history. The two soul warriors spirits, who are swords brought to life by Sanewa the sage, rush to Edo to polite and thoughtful Horikawa Kunihiro and the short-tempered yet skillful Izuminokami Kanesada, who served the same master, confronting the invading army along with a gang of other warriors, including Mutsuno Kami and Yoshiyuki, and Yaken Toshiro and Tombo Ikiri, and Tsuru Maru and Kuinaga. As the fate of history lies in these heroes' hands, and what meets the blade is yet to be uncovered. So that's basically the synopsis of the story that's going on right now. Basically, a little bit of what it's telling you. And one of the reasons why this made top 5 is the art in this anime is fantastic. Like, I would say it's like up to like that Fate Stay Night level, in regards to like the artistic work that's there and other things like that. But another reason why it's in the top 5 is because the story, like I kind of said in the synopsis, kind of unravels in regards to these heroes. Basically, blades come in to human form to go ahead and keep history from being changed. The way I would describe the anime is trying to control parts of history to have a different outcome in history, basically like trying to change it by manipulating people or them doing it themselves. And it's just amazing, like artwork, fight scenes, stories progressing rather smoothly, I would say, in regards to it. But yeah, that is number 5 for me. Number 4 is Saiyuuki Reload Blast. And this one, the synopsis is, at last the Sanzo party has arrived in India, in this foreign land where the anomaly influence runs rampant. Their battles only heighten in their violence, and also awaiting them is their tragic fate from 500 years ago. What will they find at the end of their long, treacherous journey? So, this is basically a continuation of the series Saiyuuki series, being the 4th installment to the series, not counting any of the OVAs. I myself did not even know this was a continuation. The content is actually thrilling, action-packed, great story so far from what I've been watching. With that, it's basically like a anime representation of Journey to the West, which a lot of you fans of the anime probably already know that. With Sanzo party finally making it to India with the priest Genjo Sanzo, who was based off of the character Actually, yeah, based after the Buddhist priest in China, Xuanzang, in 627 AC, who reportedly had a dream that convinced him to go to the journey of India. From what I read more about it, it was that he got there in 630 on Touken, and was basically called the journey to the west, is from what others described of it. And a lot of movies, and I guess like this anime was based off that, but they added their twists and thrills, and books and everything was based off this priest in regards to his story. But the interesting part is the Sanzo's party, which is his 3 disciples or 3 demons who's coming with him. One is Son Goku, basically being Son Wukong, which is the Monkey King, coming with the priest. And from a lot of different stuff, I'm not too sure in regards to this one. He seems rather kind of like a child, but is really strong and seems more like a mature for his age in that regard. And he kind of just like a monkey, likes to play around in that regard, from what I am perceiving from his anime counterpart. But what I also like watched from Journey to the West or Monkey King 1 and 2, the Chinese movies, was that he was actually rather defiant in regards of like going with Xuanzang in the Journey to the West, and other things in that regard. It's reported like hundreds of years old. Don't know his exact date of how old he is, but yeah. The second part would be the second demon, which was Shijou, being a taboo child, with his father being human and his mom being a demon. His character came from another disciple of Xuanzang, and he was basically called, or his name referred to, is called Sandy or San, and is known as a water buffalo, and his Chinese name is Sha Wujing, means sand aware purity. Now, the last character in the Sanzo party, and in correlation with Xuanzang's third and final disciple, was Sho Kai, which is the Japanese version or the anime representation of him, and he's the last demon, and he's basically known as Zhu Baiji, also named as Zhu Wunzhang, is one of the 3, again, helpers of Xuanzang and Genjo in the anime. It's basically, I didn't believe this because I didn't watch the previous before this, but it's basically like what it translates to is Zhu means swine, and Baiju means the 8 precepts of what his name is. Basically, Pixie is what his name is, or Pig Face. And yeah, and that's kind of just in regards of the backstory, where I guess Saiyuuki got the inspiration from, besides from the novel Journey to the West. But yeah, and besides like having such an in-depth like story that it goes around, it adds like new elements to the anime that is really different from like the movie. It kind of shows like a lot more. I feel like the anime right now is kind of focusing just on Son Wukong and like the other 3 in the party as well, but it showed like a lot of his backstory in this anime, which is really like a different side that we never saw. And yeah, and the artwork as well is also really amazing in this, from what the predecessors, I guess Saiyuuki and all that before. But again, that's my number 4, Saiyuuki Reload Blast. And let's go to number 3. Fortunately, I can't pronounce the Japanese name and I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just going to go with the English translation that I found here, which is basically refers to it as being Classroom of the Elite. The synopsis basically follows. Kuro Ikusei Senior High School which is a leading prestigious school with the state-of-the-art facilities, where nearly 100% of the students go to university or find employment. Basically, they have a 100% rate of students going to, hire their degree or other things like that. The students there have the freedom to wear any hairstyle and bring any personal effect they desire. Kuro Ikusei is a paradise-like school, but the truth is that only the most superior of students receive favorite treatment. Ayo no Koji Kiyotaka is a student of the D class, which is where the school dumps its inferior students in order to ridicule them for a certain reason. Kiyotaka was careless on his entrance examination and was put into D class after meeting Hirokita Suzune and Kushida Kikyo, 2 other students in his class. Kiyotaka's situation begins to change. So this is basically a really interesting anime. It kind of just takes like a whole bunch of students and they kind of grade them from their exam or like entrance examinations. I'm apologizing that entrance exam, then being set to a specific class, A being the highest, B being the second, C being the third, and D being the last. And at first, when they're enrolled in the class as freshmen or of the sorts, you basically get like 100,000 yen each month to spend on whatever you like, and that just kind of goes in like people spend it on things they don't really need or stuff that they do need. Some people just keep it to themselves, and so on and so forth. One of the really interesting things why this made it to the top 3, though, is that the main character, Kiyotaka, he's actually really, really like intelligent in a way that he brings his teammates around him, his class, up into the standings, and because at first they're like spending it like crazy, none of them's going to classes, they're all skipping, they're all like not listening to the teacher, and then boom, reality hits them is that they basically, in order to succeed and get the 100,000 yen a month, well, they have to do well in class, they have to pay attention to the teacher, they have to do all of these sorts of different things in order to get that yen back, or in order to get that status and whatnot back. And basically, you can challenge like other classes for like being into the next, like going up. So like as an example, D class is at like 0, C class is 100. B class is like 200-300, and A is like 400-500. And with that, if D class really studied hard and C class was slipping, they could basically overtake their spot, depending on their tests, what the teacher like gives them throughout the month in regards of conduct in the classroom and other things like that. And fortunately, that's how like what's the story going on right now. Basically, is that they're trying to get up there to pass Class C. There's like other things in there, but I don't want to ruin too much for you if you haven't watched it yet. But again, Classroom of the Elite is another one It's highly recommended from me. While I move over to the second, which it's over to the top two, and the top two, or number two, is basically called anime called Knights and Magic, and it's basically, from the synopsis point, is mecha otaku is reincarnated into another world as Ernest. Basically, it's like a huge, like, humanoid weapons, silhouette knights exist, basically giant mechs, or like giant robots that you could pilot, and it's basically earnestly to go ahead and aim to become a knight runner, because in his past life he was an otaku, but he was also like a programmer for the design mechs, and he kind of just took that knowledge with him over to the next life, and he used it to the fullest in regards of making, like, I think it was like a 400 or 500 ritual of the silhouette knights have to be one way, into transforming that whole process into a new way, and making them basically stronger and better for suited for battle. And yeah, and it's the art in this one is really fantastic as well. There's a lot of like great story elements in regards to that. It really brings you in, like, especially if you like mechs or magic. It brings the two together, and it just kind of like really does well in that aspect. It's like taking one thing and taking something that's totally different and bringing two of those things together, and this anime really does that well in that regard. Because like other mechs, like I would say like Gundam, like it's mostly just like mechanical ways, but this one's the mechs actually rely on magic to proceed and go forth, and like if you run out of magic, it's basically like you're running out of fuel. So you have to use the mech in a way so you run out of magic, and yeah, it kind of goes from there in that regard. Alright guys, so for the number one spot here on my list of the top 5 anime of the summer is Kakegurui, and the synopsis basically takes place at Hayako private academy, which is an institution for the privileged with a very curricular curriculum. You see, when you're the sons and daughters of the wealthiest of the wealthy, it's not athletic prowess or book smarts that keep you ahead. It's read your opponent in the art of the deal. What better way to hone those skills than with a rigorous curriculum of gambling? The kids, or the high school kids, basically what a high roller really looks like, and that pretty much is how it explains it, as the synopsis does, and that is kind of true. It basically follows Miss Yumiko around as she goes toe to toe, basically with the best, and the best, or the enemy of her right now, is the student council, because the student council basically runs everything. And this anime focuses mostly around just the gambling and all of that, but it's strong story, amazing artwork, and like really intense moments when you feel like you're actually playing the game with the person or gambling with the person, really like just draws you in, and it kind of just like can't stop watching it. I must say, like, I just need to watch every episode. So I don't want to give too much into it, but it's basically that the student council runs the whole school, and it's basically like an underground gambling house, and they take all the winnings and use it to further the school, or further their own gain. And basically Yumiko is just trying to fight against that. And yeah, also another thing is that the second part is where you live like kings and live like fools, or less than a fool, probably like dirt, because the way they treat you, if you lose all your money to somebody, you're basically referred to as a dog if you're a male, and if you're a female, you're referred to as a cat. Basically, because you have nothing, you're a house pet, and you do whatever the other one says, or you have this rigorous life plan set out for you. It's basically like your life plan is set out for you, unless you pay the debt. And there's like different elements that can be really felt in this anime, as it being dark yet funny yet, you know, sometimes amusing. It's just like one of those animes that have like different elements that really work together in regards of like, especially like some tense moments in the anime. They really like they really like either grotesque the other person or just make the whole situation serious by focusing detail on just that one singular person and giving it all the, I would say, like goosebumps that you would feel like just looking at that person or what that person's thinking in their head, because they know what's going on, and it's just really intense. But yeah, I just want to again send this to my top 5 anime. If you disagree with me or you agree with me, comment below, subscribe to me, don't forget to hit that notification button if you want to hear when I update more content. Again, I'll be back with more content rather soon. It's just that I had some business to take care of, so I was busy the last few months. But again, with saying that, I do hope you all the best, and again, see you later from Anime Insight here, and thank you.